it is officially day 3 of Camp NaNoWriMo, and I don't think I've written very many words. I think I've written around 1,600. When I'm trying to write 40,000 words in a month, 1,600 at 3 days in is not the best word count. It's just I've not really been feeling it and I've been doing a bunch of other things, so it's kind of made it hard to really focus on the writing. Also, I feel productive in general, just not so much productive with creative writing. Because I'll be honest, my mind is more on booktube and filming and editing right now than it is on writing, and I'm actually getting a little bit more into reading again. And then another problem I've been having is that I can't, so there are 2 stories that I am very passionate about that I'm writing. One is the fantasy adventure story I was talking about. The other one is a story I've been writing since about 2009. I mentioned this in my Camp NaNoWriMo announcement video. And that one's been waiting a lot longer. So I've kind of been shifting back and forth between the 2 stories. And it's not, I kind of don't like when I do that, because then it makes it hard to focus on one story and actually make progress on one story. Because instead I'm jumping back and forth between the 2. And I'm not really giving enough attention to either one. I really would just rather kind of focus all of my energy on one story, especially during Camp NaNoWriMo, because that's when word counts really, really matter, because you're setting a goal, you're telling the world, hey, I'm gonna write this many words, and if you don't reach that, it kind of, well, at least for me, it kind of feels like I could have done better, and then I look back, like, here's all the reasons that I didn't do it, or I couldn't do it. At least I've written a little bit every day. That's something that I can say. I've written probably about 500 words or so every day, from both stories combined. So at least there's something, you know, like I've been trying to write. It's not like I've just been like staring at a blank computer screen.
Hello. It is July 10th. Well, technically it's midnight, after midnight, so it's July 11th. And I haven't written a whole lot, but I finally figured out which story I'm going to work on for Camp NaNoWriMo, and I'm going to work on my first story, not the one that I said I was going to work on originally, but the one that's been waiting a lot longer. And to help kind of differentiate between these 2 projects without giving away like the title, I've decided to kind of take one from Zoe, read by Zoe's notebook or playbook, and name them Project something. So my adventure story that I originally said I was going to work on, I'm going to name it Project Pitchfork, because there's a pitchfork symbol in the story that kind of plays a role, I guess. And then for my other story, the one that I'm actually going to work on, which is just like a fantasy sort of novel, I'll call it Project Stormcloud, because that's also pretty important for the story. Just to recap over the past couple of days, let's say July 6th, I wrote about 600 words for this story, which is not a whole lot, especially with respect to my eventual goal of 40,000 words, but it's something, you know, it's better than nothing, especially since I'm kind of getting out of it now, but like I was in a rut where I didn't really feel like writing, and then I always made excuses to not do it, but, you know, we're okay. And July 9th, my friend came into town and we went to a coffee shop and we talked for a little bit, but then we started writing. And I wrote about 1,300 words there, which was pretty cool because it was only like 45 minutes that I spent writing there. She was my first writing friend that I've ever had, so it's really cool to just have somebody that you can talk out your story with and work out problems. So I was talking to her about my story, she was talking to me about hers. We worked out some problems that we were having. And then the 10th, I wrote about 1,800 words. So yeah, I'm getting up there. I'm starting to write more and more. In total, I've got my computer over here, so I've written 4,035 words, which is not a whole lot, but again, I'm starting to work my way up. That's where I'm at right now.
Oh, friggin' there's a fly in here. This is so gross because I can hear him. Get out of here! Get out! Ah! Stupid fly. I don't want to use this notebook, but I got to get him out of here. Get out! Shoot! 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 It is July 11th, and I did a lot of writing on the train to and from work today, so that was good. But I was doing it on my phone with the Evernote app. If you guys don't have the Evernote app, you should get it. You know, it's helpful. because it like syncs things between your phone and your computer. But anyway, that's not what the point of this is. The point is, while I was on the train, going to work and coming from work, I wrote a total of 923 words. What? And it's not even that long of a commute. It's like between 30 and 45 minutes. I basically hit my goal for the day, which is 1,000 words. And I'm not done writing yet. I plan to do more writing today. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling good. Let me add that to my total. I created a little Excel spreadsheet sort of situation. So I put in what my overall goal is, and I put in what my word count was before the month started, and then I put in what I wrote each day, and then it adds it up automatically for me and just tells me how much words I have left. You guys should definitely do it. It's also a great way to learn how to use Excel. So, you know, yeah. So, okay, let me just say, I started the month of July with 36,847 words. Most of that I wrote in April for Camp Nano. But today, I started with 40,882 words, which is almost about 4,000 words that I've written since the beginning of the month. But today, since I've so far written 923 words, I have a total of 41,805 words, which means I've written 4,958 words this month. Or, yeah, so far this month. I should be just about done with this book by the end of the month. But to be honest with you, I feel like at least the first draft is probably going to go closer to like 90 or 100,000. Then I'm going to have to like cut back. Because the way I'm writing, and I figured this out in April, and it's not the way I wrote before, but I think it works better for me, at least with this story, is that I write very stream of conscious. So whatever my main character is thinking, every single thought process, I'm writing all of that out so I completely understand how she feels about everything. And like it adds to the word count, which I guess in a way kind of consider cheating, but it's not really cheating because I am writing these words. You know, even if a lot of them may not stay around in the end, it just helps me to kind of think through the scenes. And I actually learn a lot about my characters and about the plot just by writing very stream of conscious. You know, everybody writes differently, but it's certainly something you can try. This is a story I've been working on since 2009, so this has been in my head for 7 years so far. A lot has changed since then, but I've written almost the entire draft before, but I started like revamping the plot and figuring out how I really wanted things to go, and I ended up starting from scratch. Because what I normally do is I go back and read it as I'm writing, and then I edit it along the way, which slows me down a lot, and it was not good for a first draft because I'm thinking too much about things when I really just need to be pushing forward and just writing all the crap out, you know? But with this round, I'm basically writing straight through. Since the last time I touched this story was back in like April and the first few days of May, I'd forgotten a lot of what I've written, and therefore I'd forgotten a lot of the plot decisions that I made. So I did go back and read through everything that I wrote. Kind of like while I was on the train to work, I was just like reading it on my phone. So I can kind of get back into the feel of it, get back in that mindset, and I can remember a lot of the plot decisions that I made, and that actually really helped. And I didn't, because I was reading it on my phone, it didn't give me a chance to edit everything. So that was good. I didn't need to edit it. All I needed to do was read it to understand where I was. So from now, where I'm at, I started writing from scratch. I'm not looking back until the end of the month at least. And maybe I'm gonna try not to look back until this draft is done. I'm really proud of myself. It did take me over a week to get started writing for Camp NaNoWriMo, and with a 40,000 word goal, I'm gonna need every single day, hour and minute and second and millisecond and jiffy, whatever that I can get to write this story. The hardest thing for me is actually sitting down and doing it, because I'm always making excuses. Oh, I'm too tired, or oh, I don't have enough time, or oh, I'm not in the mood to write, or I don't feel inspired. You know, it's not coming to me. All I have to do really is sit down and write. In the first couple of days, it may feel like I'm really just forcing myself to do it, but once I get into the groove of it, I'm in the groove of it. So for all you people who are struggling maybe to sit down and write, just sit down and write. Even if you only write like 10 words the first day, hey, that's 10 words you didn't have before, and at least you're trying, you know, you're getting into it. So my internship, Swoon Reads, puts up a blog, which one of the things that they talk about is they have like a series of like writing advice and editing advice and all that kind of stuff. And Sarah J. Moss actually contributed a post to the blog. I'll link it down below, but mainly what she's saying is sit down and write. So I read that article, and it kind of like, it really inspired me. So I hope it'll help inspire you. I got 5,000 words and I have 35,000 more words to write in 20 days. I can do that. Hey guys, it is July 14th, and we are now 2 weeks into Camp NaNoWriMo, and I am doing way great. I have increased my word count for my story by 14,320 words. Yes. So that averages out to about 1,000 words a day, even though most of what I've written in the past week. Yeah, because I did like 600 words on the 6th, and then I didn't do anything really until the 9th, and that's when I started kind of really getting into it. So in the past 6 days, I've added 14,000 words. That's pretty awesome. Now, I will be honest and say that, like, a couple thousand of those words I've already written, like, in the past. We're talking about Project Stormcloud here. I think that's what I titled it. Since I'm starting from scratch, there are a couple of scenes that I'm keeping, but I do read through them and edit them and add and take away things as necessary. So there is some word count from that. But overall, my goal is, yes, to write 40,000 words, but to really just add 40,000 words to my story. So that leaves 25,680 words left to write this month. And I think I can do it. I actually made a kind of like a schedule. So basically I have to write 1,000 words every day on the weekdays, and then on the weekends I write 3,000 words, which is good. Today on the 14th, I should be at 48,000. I'm at 51,000. So I'm already like 2 or 3 days ahead of where I'm supposed to be. So that's really good. I kind of want to get ahead of myself so that way in case there's a day or two, which I'm sure there will be, where I'm not able to write or not able to write as much, then I'm still okay, you know? I've got a friend coming into town next weekend, one of my best friends from home, so I'm really excited to see her, but she's going to be here the entire weekend, so I'm probably not going to have any time to write. So I think before I get to that point, I want to add, I've got like a week until then, and then I've got another week after that, so in case I do fall behind because of that weekend, I've still got time to make up for it and to catch up. So I'm in a really good place right now. I'm so happy right now, you guys, you don't even understand. Okay, let me just give you a quick rundown of the days that I've written and how much words I've written. So on the 6th of July, I wrote 638 words. On the 9th, I wrote 1,500 words. 10th, I wrote 1,800 words. On the 11th, I wrote 900 words. On the 12th, I wrote 4,700 words. But again, 1,000 or 2,000 of that is from something I've previously written, but I did edit it to fit this story now. On the 13th, which was yesterday, I wrote 400 words, and then today I wrote 4,000 words. Today I went to a cafe after work, and I only planned to be there for about an hour, but I ended up being there for about 2 hours just because I was so productive. I had to come home because I wanted to be home before it got dark, because I don't really want to be walking the streets of New York at nighttime. Yeah, and then I wrote an additional 400 words on the train coming back from the coffee shop, and I just added that to my word count, so I'm so happy where I am right now. I think I'm a little past the midway, I think I'm a little bit past the midpoint of the story. I'm still kind of in Act 2. Sort of still, like, you know, in the rising action. Boy, that's a word I've not used that term in a while. Last weekend, actually, when my friend from my last internship came into town. Hey, Tori. And one of the things we were talking about is that I feel like when I do my best writing, I'm not so much creating as I am discovering, where it just feels kind of like, if you're a writer, you probably understand that feeling when the writing is going really, really well. Things are just falling into place and it's just so amazing. There's actually a quote by Michelangelo. I feel like I need to find this quote online. Okay, here we go. Wow, it's like the first thing on Google if you type in Michelangelo quotes. I saw the angel in the marble and I carved until I set him free. That's pretty much exactly how I feel when I'm writing. I kind of see how I want the story to come out, and it's just about kind of taking away what doesn't need to be there, you know, until you get to how the story is. Like, I feel like I'm discovering something that's already kind of meant to be there, but it's just such a sensational feeling, and I love that feeling. That's how I know that I'm really doing my best writing. That's how I know that I'm really, really into it, and that's a really good feeling to have during NaNoWriMo, let alone Camp NaNoWriMo. I don't really know what else there is to say in this video. See you guys in the next one. Where's my other slipper? Where's my other slipper? Slipper, slipper, slipper. Slipper, slipper, slipper.